this will be a short story. So we have a person called Abdul, and he is Muslim. And we have this other person, he is Peter, and he is non-Muslim. Now, this story is made up, but this story will demonstrate, and you will understand at the end of the story that why is Islam important, and also why is Islam the correct guidance for the children of Adam. For the children of Adam, of the past, present, and future. So, let's start with Peter, the non-Muslim. Now, Peter, he has good health, he has a good job, he has a nice car, a nice house, and wife and children. Monday morning, usual, or Sunday morning, as usual, he is going to work, driving to work. Suddenly, he is involved in a car accident. Now, the car accident is a pretty serious car accident, and Peter, ends up in hospital with some broken ribs and some broken bones. So the doctor says it will take him at least 3 to 4 months to get better. Now, after about 4 weeks, because of the car accident, he loses his job. His wife starts nagging him, and he gets more sad. I mean, naturally he is sad because, of course, he had an accident and he lost his job. And, this job, he really loved his job, and it was a good job with good pay. Now, every day his wife is nagging him, when will you get better? I mean, we are behind our bills, and I can't, I need money to go shopping, etc. Now, he is still, he's not recovered. He went for his checkup, and the doctor said it's going to take another, 4 or 5 weeks to heal, or maybe longer. So he is sad now, and he is miserable, and he is considering, Peter, the non-Muslim, is considering to drink alcohol, because, he has problems in his life, and he wants to, somehow forget these problems. So he goes to the corner shop and he buys a bottle of vodka, alcohol, and then he begins to drink, and then next week he does the same. And then 2 days later, he gets another bottle of vodka and he drinks. And before he knows it, before he realizes, he has become an alcoholic. His wife doesn't like this. His wife says to him, "You are good for nothing, and I am leaving you with our children." And so his wife leaves him with the children. Now, he is more sad and he is more miserable. So he, instead of helping himself, he just goes to the corner shop, the off-license, and he gets another bottle of vodka or Jack Daniels or Bacardi, and he drinks alcohol, and he drinks more alcohol. And now, after another 2 weeks, he is seriously behind his mortgage, his bills. I mean, because he had an accident and the government is helping him, because in the UK, if you are temporarily, if temporary, injured, and the government will help you with such as disability benefits and etc. But he is just spending all the money in drinking alcohol, and eventually he loses his house and he becomes a homeless person. Now, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against homeless people. I am just saying that Peter the non-Muslim, what has happened to him because of drinking a lot of alcohol. Now let's go to Abdul. Abdul the Muslim, similar, Abdul has a nice job, nice car, house, family, children, wife. Long story short, Abdul going to work, has a car accident, ends up in hospital, and he is sad as well. His wife says, don't worry, the Creator Allah will make things better. The Creator Allah will make things better. But Abdul is still sad. The doctor says he's still, it's going to take him another 3-4 weeks, actually 3-4 months to get better. But, he is sad. And Abdul is thinking, and Abdul is considering to drink alcohol or take drugs because he's sad. He was in an accident, and he's lost his job, and he's in a bad situation. He's in a sad place. But he then remembers the Creator Allah says in the Quran, no alcohol, no drugs, no gambling. And then he tells himself, Abdul tells himself, that I can't take drugs, I can't take alcohol, because these alcohol and drugs and gambling is haram. It's not allowed. And so Abdul the Muslim, does not drink alcohol, does not take drugs, and therefore his wife supports him. After all, they are Muslims, and his family and friends supports him, and eventually he gets better, he gets a different job, and he realizes that Islam really helped him when he was in a bad situation. You see, these car accidents do happen. I can be driving as safely and responsibly as I can, but I still can get into an accident. And what that means is, I as a Muslim, the accident is some form of a test from the Creator Allah, and the Creator Allah wants to see, what do I do in this more pressurized situation, in this testing situation? What do I do? Do I still obey the Creator Allah by saying no to drugs, no to alcohol, no to gambling? Or do I react like the Peter the non-Muslim, just get sad? Oh, I'm sad, I need drugs, I need alcohol, and I'm just sad, I'm miserable, I hate my life. And this is the attitude we see in the especially in the non-Muslims, and also in some Muslims who are weak. Now, don't forget, what I'm trying to say is, yes, the question was, and the question is, why is Islam important? And how is Islam the correct guidance? Now, as you can understand after listening to the story, did Islam, see, in Islam there are deterrents, and the deterrents are no alcohol, no drugs, and no gambling. But let's talk about no drugs and no alcohol. Now you know, let's talk about no drugs, no alcohol. Yeah, no drugs, no alcohol. And if you go and ask any doctor, any psychiatrist about drugs, and if somebody takes drugs for 3, 4, 5 years, you know, they start to lose their brain cells, and you know, they start, you know, they can't think properly, and later on they get psychological illnesses such as schizophrenia and psychosis and other psychological problems. Same with, you know, similar thing with alcohol. If somebody drinks alcohol for 3 to 4 years, they will have an illness called the liver of the cirrhosis of the liver, I think, and you know, eventually lose the liver and you know, have problems and eventually die. You know, you know, we don't actually die. We you know, face death. We experience death. Now, don't forget. You see, now let's look at, you know, quickly summarizing. Now, you see, Abdul the Muslim and Peter the non-Muslim, they were in similar, or you can say exactly the same situation. Yeah, going to work and having a car accident and ending up in hospital. But Abdul, he being a Muslim, Islam helped Abdul, because in Islam there are deterrents: no alcohol, no drugs, no gambling, no sex before marriage. I mean, that's a different issue. And you know, if we look at, I'm telling you, if you look at the Bible, if you read the Bible, if you read the book of Sikhism, Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, and other non-Islamic and non-Muslim ideologies, it doesn't say no alcohol. Yeah, it doesn't say no alcohol, no drugs, no gambling. There are no deterrents whatsoever. Now we live in a, you know, we free will creatures. You know, Allah, the Creator Allah, has given us free will, and in you know, it's programmed in our soul. By the way, the real you is your soul, you know, ruh in Arabic, not your earthly body. And in earth, you know, as we are living, we have free will, and of course, you know, there will, you know, there will be ups and downs. There will be, you know, car accidents. There will be, like, someone, you know, you love suddenly, you know, passed away, you know, left, you know, earth, departed earth. Because don't forget, we don't die. We go back to Allah. Yeah, the real you is your soul. The soul experiences death. Now, that's what I'm trying to say. Islam is practical. Why Islam? Again, why Islam? Read the Quran translation by M.A.S. Abdul Halim. It's in English, With an Objective Mind. Read the book Divine Reality by Hamza Andreas Zotsis. Read the books called Signature